Sunday night, so we get to see the weekly close. So this candle right here just closed. We closed a little bit above last week, so that's exciting. Really quick, just to point out two levels here that I've been watching. These are weekly levels. They're in white. This level right here, which is pretty much the last area that we had some serious price action before we had our massive upswing. And as you can see, we came back down. We touched this level when we had our all-time low from the bear trend, well, current all-time low from the bear trend. We still closed above this weekly level, so it provided support there. We broke through it here again, so it makes me a little less confident about it as a support line, but we've had a lot of interaction with it on the daily levels, so I've been keeping it on there. And then this level up here at just under 12K, as you can see, we've been bumping up against it twice. This is where, if we zoom in to our daily levels, you can see we've come up in the zone multiple times. So I have a red box here associating to where we have this serious resistance. So just to kind of walk everybody through what's been going on, we recently had a double top. So as you can see, we traded into this 12K area, came back down. We have some support here, traded back into this 12K area, and also touched and confirmed this red downtrend line. So in technical analysis, they say that you need 2 touches on a downtrend to have it be speculative and 3 touches on a downtrend to confirm. And so as you can see, this right here is our third touch, which gives us confirmation that we are in, it basically gives us confirmation that this downtrend line is valid. So as we start moving back up into that, hopefully eventually soon here, it'll be interesting to see how we interact with that. And if we do break through that, we're going to need to see high momentum, so a lot of support from buyers, and we're also going to need to see high volume. So those are 2 things to be tracking there. So as you can see right here, I've outlined the past 7 days. This candle, we're less than an hour into it, so don't really pay much attention to it right now. But these candles right here, these past 7, this is what's happened for the past week. I'm going to zoom into the 4-hour level so we can kind of dive into this a little bit more. So we ended last week by touching this potential. So remember, when I say potential, it means we have 2 touches, this potential green uptrend line. So we traded into that, kissed the bottom of it, and then had a big momentum push up through this white weekly level. Started trading into this 8.4 to 8.6 range, which we've had a lot of price action here in the past couple of months, or this past month. But to really recap on what's happened this week, we were trending upward in this upward channel. We hit this purple resistance line, which, as you can see over here, whenever you look at resistance, you want to basically look at price action and see if you're basically looking to try to see places that we've continually touched but not broken. And if we do break through, you want to look for places that we broke through with high momentum. So right here, for example, you can see we were touching it, we were breaking through the support, which every time you break through a support level but close above it, it just means that the support is getting weaker and weaker, and it increases the probability that you're going to drop down below it. So as you can see here, broke through support multiple times here, touched it one more time, and then finally had a huge momentum push downward. Had some price action down here, traded back up, and one of the key rules is when you finish and you break through support, support turns into resistance, and that would be the same vice versa. If you're trading through resistance, you break through resistance. When you come back down, hypothetically, in theory, it should trade then as support, or it should end up as support. So as you can see here, we traded down, came back up, and this purple level acted as resistance now. We weren't able to make it above this purple level. We were up in this green upward channel here, got rejected from it, had a big momentum swing down, came down here. This green line is a daily level that I've been watching. So we touched that, came back up again into this purple level here, which is okay. Again, we couldn't break it. So when I was looking at this earlier, this green line basically represented if we could close above this line with high volume, then I was expecting us to make a push up to at least 9,500 and see how we interacted with this older resistance level. But since we weren't able to close, we pushed back down here, as you can see from this red arrow, and we didn't come down all the way to touch this green box, but we're playing pretty close to this the 8.3 to 8.4 level, and that's where we're currently sitting at. So does anybody have any questions, or did anything not make sense as we were going through it?
What does that mean next? What do you see?
I think we'll have a little bit more consolidation here. This purple level is also, there's some confluence here. So confluence is when you have multiple indicators telling you the same thing. So originally I drew this purple level just looking based off price action, and price action is just looking, as I was talking about earlier, where we have touches but not breakthroughs, just basically high action levels for price. So I drew this line originally just looking at price action, but it's also, I believe it's the Kijun of the daily cloud, which is going to, again, provide a lot of resistance. So I could see us potentially making a move if we break down below this daily level, because you can see here, if we look at this, you can see right here, we're looking at this teal line. On this 4 hour, at least, you can see we've traded into this teal line multiple times here. We're currently trading above it. So 8.3 is looking to be like it's a little bit of a support level. I think we'll keep bouncing up and down here until we either break through one of them. And again, we'll need a big momentum swing with high volume, especially on if we will break through this purple level. We break through this purple level this next week, I could see us potentially making a move towards the red downtrend line. But if you look at the daily level on the Ichimoku cloud, it's not that pretty. We have a lot of resistance against us. So it's going to be an uphill battle. This third touch here really officially, I mean, depending on what kind of a trading system you're looking at. But for me, that was a major confirmation that we are in a serious bear market. And I mean, most people could figure that already from just from the drop in price, but at least from a technical analysis standpoint, that was a big confirmation, especially when we couldn't break that level the second time, that it's going to be a pretty big uphill battle. So did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Basically, I could see this moving back and forth here for at least a couple more swings, again, unless we see a big breakdown. We can also look at if you look at the daily RSI, we are trending upward. But for us to really start making more bullish movements, I would want to see this RSI level above 50. And currently right now, we're sitting at 41. So yeah, it's just, I think we'll keep bleeding for a little bit.
No. have you I mean, it seems like you're getting pretty good at this TA stuff. Have you started charting, like, if you would buy or would sell at certain price points? Like right now it would be like a selling point. Have you started like making predictions and keeping track of anything?
Yeah, so that's what I've been doing with the green arrows. And so one of the other trading pairs I've been watching a ton is the ether to bit pair. So the ether to bit pair is from what I've found, is the best overall trend to see if Bitcoin is going to perform better versus alts, or if alts are going to perform better versus bit. So if we look at this on a daily, it's pretty cool. You can see that we're trading on this overall uptrend channel, and anytime we move up like this, that's when we're having huge alt pumps, and Bitcoin has been weaker. And anytime we move down, that's when we're having big bit pumps, and altcoins have been weaker. So as we look here, if we dive in just to what's going on, I was watching just more recently, I had I had moved funds from Bit into Ether to try to catch a potential upswing. I got a little bit. I got stopped out pretty recently. I got stopped out like at like 7.5. So I bought in like down here at the 7.3 level, and I was hoping that we were gonna. This red box had been providing some support back based on previous price action, and so I bought in there hoping that this level would hold. It was also on the daily level. It was the bottom of the Ichimoku cloud, and the Kijun was there, so I was hoping that we'd be able to have some support from that. But as you can see, again, what I was talking about with resistance levels earlier, or sorry, support levels earlier, we traded into it, but it held. We traded in again, it held. We made a small push up, but we hit 0.08 between Bit and Ether, which I take as a pretty big psychological level. People saw that we hit 0.08 and we hadn't been there in a little while, so they wanted to sell off. So we started trending down again, traded back into this support level, broke through it once, which is that's a bearish sign. And then again, as you can see, the more you start violating these support levels, just the higher probability they're going to break down. And as you can see, we violated it again multiple times. And then right here on this candle, we had a big momentum push downward. And another really cool thing is you can really tell and validate a support or resistance level when you go through it and then trade back into it and it holds as resistance. So as you can see, we had support, but it started to break down, big momentum push down through the support level. We came back up. It's a little bit easier to look at on the hourly level. Broke through, we came back up and traded into the old support level, now resistance, and then got rejected. And as you can see, price ran away from it. So one, that just makes me really watch this level for the future because there's a lot of recent price action here, as you can see. And then, yeah, two, it just shows again that we're moving down and for this trading pair.
So now it's really a buy signal because you're hitting that support again, now it was resistance. Now it's resistance. So it might be more of a buy signal to go back up. That right now, right?
At that, so in terms of that, I would be looking at a rule of thumb is highest time frame always wins. So when I'm looking down in the 4-hour or hourly level, that's really for short-term moves. I don't think I'm going to get much into swing trading personally, or like day trading. That's more just because I'm curious about trying to, just charting different levels and getting more practice in it. In terms of actually like looking at what I believe is going to happen, if we come here and we look at RSI, you can see that we're seriously oversold. So relative strength index basically takes the past 14 candles and measures it measures the average gain versus the average loss. So if we've had 14 candles worth of losses, then we're going to be near zero. If we've had all losses for 14 days, we're going to be at zero. We've had all gains for 14 days, we're going to be at 100. And it basically tells it's supposed to signal when you're oversold or overbought. And when you're below 30, it means that you're in an overbought state. Sorry, an oversold state. And when you're above 30, you're in an overbought state. So if we look at the daily level for this trading pair, you can see we're seriously oversold. But what makes me have less conviction on this is we're not seeing, this is an on-balance volume oscillator. We're not seeing a lot of volume. So basically that's just telling me that I think it's going to bleed a little bit, but people aren't really interested in this trading pair right now. So for us to make big swing upward, we need more momentum or we need buyer support. And since we don't have a lot of volume, I just don't see any big moves happening except in the case of major sell-offs. So at least in this regards, this white line is a weekly level. I think you can see I had predicted we'd drop down into it and it would hold. We basically came down into it where, like a couple thousand Satoshi above it, but I could see this weekly level holding. I think we'll keep consolidating here for a while. and test this weekly level still. And if we do test it, and again, if we test it and keep violating it and break through, then it will break down. Otherwise, I could see us potentially making a move back up to this this resistance level. But I would also be weighing that with what the Ichimoku cloud is saying and just other indicators as well. It's best not to trade on one or two indicators. So when I look at potential trade setups, or at least when I have been looking at it, I go based off of price action first, which is those support and resistance levels I was showing everybody earlier on BIT, and then on different indicators to basically increase my confidence in a trade, if you will.